Women are limitless. Whatever you think you want to do or you should do, go ahead and do it. Don't wait for someone to be an idol or to see someone doing it so that you can do it. You just have to believe in yourself, be patient, persist. If you know that you can, if you feel you can, you can.
From the latest security concerns to the newest innovations, this podcast covers it all, offering insightful news on the world of technology, new innovations, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, female leadership, and so many other interesting and diverse topics, and the day to day effect on our daily lives. Welcome to the Security Bench podcast. I'm your host, Juronke, and I have a great episode for you today. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone. Thank you for another episode of the Security Bench today. I have a very great episode for you today. I'm very excited about it. This has to do with women leaders, women in leadership. And today I have Abir Kerassa from Algeria. Please roll the drums for Abir. We're so excited to have you this day. Thank you for joining. I know that it's a bit tight, but for making time to come out on this episode today is an awesome opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeronke. I'm honored to be on this podcast. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. It's rare to have people from Algeria, all the way from Algeria. So having someone like yourself, it's a great opportunity. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Okay, so my name is Abir. I'm Algerian. I'm 29 years old. I was raised here in Algeria. I was born here and raised here. And then I moved out at the age of 17. I did my bachelor's at the American University in Dubai. I lived there for 4 years and then did my master's in Spain at IE Business School in Madrid. It was a 1 year program. After that, I moved back to Dubai because my family was still there in Dubai. I worked in consulting for around 2.5 years. And after that, I decided to move back home and join the family business, which is a sanitary ware manufacturing company. Now I'm running the entire company. My father basically retired and handed me the management of the entire company. So that's what I've been doing for the last 4 years now.
Exciting. My head is swelling as you're talking. To have, a young leader managing an entire organization, it's very rare. And also you have this diverse background. That's also another exciting thing. You've schooled in Spain, you've lived in Dubai, you went to American University. Tell me, how has this influenced your your leadership role, because I know you're a leader right now? Do you think you've gained anything from this diverse experience?
Definitely, definitely. It shaped who I am as a person before becoming a leader. So when I left my home country at the age of 17 and I moved to Dubai to study there, I was very shy. I was not an open person. I was very introverted. But going there, having the American college experience, having an international environment, because Dubai is such an international city. You have all nationalities living there. It really shaped who I am as a person in terms of um, developing myself, my skills, being open, tolerating others, accepting others, learning from them. It built my self confidence, my self esteem. It helped me become the person that I am, honest. The more you have an international experience, the more you see people that are better than you, the more you learn from them. It's such an enriching experience.
Awesome. Thank you. You're so humble. That's interesting, when you say that, but I really appreciate you. So let's go in. You said this is a family business, it's manufacturing. From my little experience, I don't know much about Algeria. I always thought it's patriarchal, if that's the word they use, society where men dominate. So to find a young lady leading an organization. I feel that that's a very rare thing. So, can you tell me, first of all, can you tell me what inspired you or what inspired your dad to hand over the company to you? What's the inspiration? You know.
Okay. So basically, after I finished my master's from Spain, I didn't want to go back home. Like my mother suggested that I should go back home, and join the family business. And I was against it, to be honest. I wanted to join the corporate world, build a career, and all of that. So I joined a multinational company in Dubai in consulting. I started as an intern actually, and I performed well. So they offered me a full-time job and I developed there, like, and I wanted to grow. But the thing is, I saw that I wanted to grow at my own pace because I was an analyst for a while and I wanted to get promoted, but it was they resisted the promotion in a way. Like they had many excuses. It's like we don't have the budget. We're in a freeze stage now. We don't hire. We don't promote. And I felt that I was performing at a certain level. I love working and I always give 150%, 200% of myself into my work. And to see that that was not
Good enough.
appreciated and it
Yes,
was not rewarded accordingly was very demotivating. And I'm a person that likes to move at a fast pace. As I said, like I love working, I love developing myself, I love growing. I saw that the corporate world was blocking me in a way. Like if I wanted to stay there, I have to adhere by certain timelines. Like every 2 years you get promoted, and if you reach like a manager position, you need to wait for a certain
hmm.
3 4 years to get to the next
Next
level.
level. Hmm.
And I felt that I could do more and I wanted to move at my own pace. So the other alternative for me was to join the family business back home. And in that sense, I was dreading to go back because, as you said, Algeria is a patriarchal society, and I knew kind of the challenges that I would face. But I also, like every job you take, there are cons and there are pros. So the pros
Absolutely.
that I had is that it's a new experience. I would learn a lot. At a certain point in my life, I have to come back and take on the business. So what better timing would be than to learn from my father who built the business from scratch. And he would hand me like everything that I would need to learn. It will be a new experience that will shape me to become the leader that I've always wanted to become. So that was the reason I decided to move back home.
Awesome, awesome. That's so great. I can say that leadership was trusted upon your shoulders. You didn't want it, but it's somewhere there, receptive. And I think it took you to go to other organizations before you realized that, wait, I have this back home. I could do this, and
Yes,
what better way to learn from the creator himself? So I'm very happy that you seized the opportunity to learn from
yes.
your dad and now you're running the business. If I may ask, about how many people or how big is your organization?
We have around 125 employees right now.
Oh wow, that's huge. So you tell me, you discussed, I stated that from my knowledge of Algeria, I always thought, it's always men. So if you now go back, how did you overcome? Because now it's not going to be easy to have 120 employees looking at you at the helm of their affairs right now. So do you experience any bias or, is there anything, or was it maybe at the beginning? Take us through the journey to from where you started and where you are today.
Okay. So since I joined, the first few months, the first 6 months, I'd say, was mainly learning, going through the entire departments of the company and learning everything because I needed to learn the entire business inside out before I was able to manage it. So in the first 6 months, it was okay. Everyone was collaborating, everyone was teaching me, I was learning, I was growing, it was fine. But the challenges started when I started having more and more responsibilities. So my father taught me everything, and after those 6 months, he started delegating tasks to me, giving me more responsibilities, pushing me to take on more and more. And the challenges started then, because I was not accepted for two main reasons. Firstly, because I'm a woman, and secondly, because of my age. I was pretty young when I started. I was 26 years old, and it was a bit. They were put in a tough and unusual situation, having a young lady
Yeah.
um, managing the business. They were not used to it. They did not want it. So it was challenging in terms, like my when my father started giving me responsibility, he started traveling. So like he'd go for like 2 3 weeks, and I'll have to run the entire day-to-day business operations by myself. So what would happen is that during that time, everyone would give only like 50 60% of themselves into their work, and whenever he's back, they would give 150% of themselves towards their work. And that was frustrating. I felt like I was working against the current. I was
Mm.
trying to like pull the ship by myself, and I did not get the help that I needed to get the business uh, move forward. So it really got to me, but it also taught me a lot of things. It taught me how to be more assertive, it taught me how to be assertive, how do I say,
Yeah, the leadership, or to delegate, or to, and it
exactly,
also helps you.
how to
Yes.
impose myself right there.
Okay.
They challenged my decisions in a ways that I didn't know that they were challenged. Like they would always imply that, oh, it's not the right thing because you don't know this, because it's this way and it's this way. But with time, I learned to impose myself, to assert myself. I won them over. That's another thing. It was not only like coming in strong. Whenever I would travel, or like I'll have something, like I'll bring gifts to them, like
Okay.
the
Yeah.
managers and like my team members. I tried to be nice with them. And with time, when I saw like day in day out, I was there, I was the first in office, I was the last one to leave.
Mm.
I learned everything. I went inside the factory, I saw the problems, like I understood everything. I learned from each and every one of them. They gave in. They gave in with time. They gave in, and they started to collaborate with me more and more.
Awesome. That's what I'll
Yeah.
call the school of hard knock. You went there, you learned, and it's a rare thing. One thing I want to say is that I don't even think that would be peculiar to Algeria alone. It could be anywhere in the world. Imagine a 26-year-old girl coming to
Mm.
lead manufacturing. Manufacturing everywhere is a domain for males. So it's
Yes.
not, I don't even want us to say that it's because it's Algeria, they have their culture. So I can imagine, yeah, your employees now, if we're saying how many of them are ladies, how many are women? How many do you have as women?
Out of what, the 125, we only have two women
Can you?
and myself.
You be one of them. So you see, manufacturing, that's a rare feat that you've pulled off.
Yeah.
And I believe that you can hold your top any other company that you go in the world, to be honest. That's interesting. That's great. So in a way, what now, based on what you've learned, you told me that you learned, you built your resilience from that place. You learn, how to be assertive, because people are going to question you for those two reasons: a woman, and then very young at that. Even if it's a young man, people are still going to question you, bringing someone and all that. But I can see your buying in, your dedication, and all that. And so now, if you go back, what strategies, if we were to start all over again, what will you tell the younger Abir? I know it's only 3 years you've been managing, but now if you transport yourself back, what do you think? Will you do anything different from the way you've learned, or what do you think?
I would tell the younger me to be more patient,
Okay, patience.
because and not take things personally, because I used to take things at heart. Like, I thought they didn't accept me because of me, because I was doing something wrong, because I was not performing up to the standard.
Mm.
But it wasn't. And I understood, like, now looking back at hindsight, I see that it was difficult for them as well. Like, I was only seeing it from my end, like, why do they have to do this to me?
And
Like,
they're not
I'm
doing it
doing
to your
well. Like,
dad, you know?
yeah.
Yes. That's interesting.
Exactly. Like, why? Like, I'm doing my best. Why aren't they collaborating with me? Why aren't they giving me their maximum? And I was blaming myself and blaming them in a way. But now looking back, it was a big change for them as well, you know. Um, so I had to be more patient. I used to, it was a very difficult year, but I had to be patient, and I had to understand that it was difficult for them as well. Um, these things take time. They take time. The change doesn't happen overnight, and
Exactly.
you're not gonna be accepted overnight. I mean, now, like, luckily, like, with all the hard work I've done and their hard work as well, um, now they see me as a manager, as a leader, not as a female leader, you know. And that makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference, you know, just to see me as a professional, not in gender terms, you know.
Oh, awesome. That's good.
So I'm very glad I've reached this level, and I'm proud of them as well for accepting me. And I think I also made an impact in a certain way in them, that now, like, they see that women are capable and they can be as capable as men.
Awesome.
And they might have different perspective, different ambitions for their own daughters, you know.
Yes, that's true.
They won't limit their thinking, oh, you're a female, you can't perform in a male dominated environment. So yeah, I'm really happy of the change that happened, although it's very small, at a small scale, but it's still, it's, I think it's good
I
to.
want to tell you, sister, that's not small scale. If I do an estimate, your company has about 120 males. Imagine them, maybe their fathers, their brothers, and their sons. What you've done is a great feat. We may not give you a Nobel laureate for it, but imagine they can go back and tell their daughters. They will see a role model in you. They will see a role model for their sisters, for their children that they are raising, and they know that they can achieve anything. So don't underestimate what you've done. I'm here and I can tell you that that's a great feat. And I'm sure your father will be very, very proud of you. And
Thank you.
also, I think this should be, you should, I mean, I want to encourage, I don't know if you're doing it, but this is also to encourage all the Algerian girls out there that if you can do it, they can do it too. And they're not
Yeah.
limited to Algeria alone. They can do it anywhere in the world. All they need is the resilience, the patience, and of course, wanting to do what they want to do. So I really want to encourage you in that regard. Don't feel small at all. Because we calculate the statistics, 120 men, at least let's say half of them have daughters or sisters. 60, and that will go over and then they'll be paying it forward. So it's a very great achievement. So now I know you've told us a lot of things, but do you have any advice for women in Algeria and even women at large? This podcast is not just, restricted to any continent, but what advice you leading a manufacturing firm at a very young age, 29 years old, and juggling everything. So what advice can you leave with women, everywhere, everywhere?
Everywhere. Yeah, don't limit yourself. You're limitless. Like, if I could summarize it, women are limitless. Whatever you think you want to do or you should do, go ahead and do it. You, don't wait for someone to be an idol or to see someone doing it so that you can do it. Just because we don't have enough female leaders representation doesn't mean that we can't be the first ones. And because we push and we put ourselves out there, will make it easier for the future girls, for other women to believe that they can do it.
Do
We
it.
have it in us. We can do it. You just have to believe in yourself, be patient, persist, and don't listen to anyone who's gonna say you can't do it. Because if you know that you can, if you feel you can, you can. It's
Of
not up to
course.
them to tell you that you can't. Just do it. Get into it. Go ahead, and you'll achieve it. Don't give up. If you I failed, like at the first year I felt like I failed, and I felt that I
Oh,
failed miserably. But what I said to myself, failure is not the end. If I failed, it means it's not the end. It doesn't mean that it stops here. I won't stop until I succeed. And I kept pushing, and I kept pushing, I kept pushing until I made a difference, and until I achieved what I wanted to achieve.
awesome. That's good. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I also happen to know that I can see that you're very busy running at the helm of a manufacturing organization. And I also know you're a doctoral student. I know we didn't say that. So how are you coping? How are you managing to juggle all of this together? Your studies, leading the organization, being the first, coming in first and making sure that the factories and everything is running. How do you do it? Can you let us in?
It's challenging, to be honest. It hasn't been an easy journey to balance both work and studies and working out and spending time with family.
Family,
it
yes, yes.
it sometimes it feels overwhelming, but it's all about prioritizing your time. So when I'm at work, I'm at work. I don't bring in my studies into my work. I don't open my laptop and start studying while I'm at work. When I'm at work, I focus on my work 100%. I'm there for 8 hours, 9 hours, depending on the day, and I'm there for my work. Outside of work, I try as much as possible to limit my work interference. But since I'm managing the entire thing and it's a family business, I can't really
Separate yourself
disconnect
completely. I,
completely.
I know, right?
And it's a manufacturing. We work
20.
three shifts, so we work 24 hours,
Was,
6 days a week.
oh,
So it's a
wow.
bit hard to disconnect, and it's not always, but sometimes like we have problems, and even at home, like I still get calls, and I have to direct them on what to do and what not. Some decisions needs to be made at the spot. So, but I try as much as possible to limit that. And my father also taught me this, which is when you enter home, leave work at work. Don't bring work into home. He says it helps you because, when it's a family business, it's really hard to disconnect because you feel it's part of you.
Yeah,
So it's even harder when you work in a corporate job. Like, you can disconnect a bit, like,
yeah.
but family business, and then you come home and you have your father at home, and I have my brother who also joined recently. And
Hmm.
sometimes we just start
The
talking about
conversation
work
goes there
problems.
again, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah,
yeah.
yes.
So he taught me this, and I try to implement it as much as possible, is to leave work at work. And what also helped me for my studies in particular is waking up early. So I don't this at like always. I do it when I have deadlines, when I have some work to be done. I try to wake up at like 4:30 a.m., 5 a.m., and
Wow.
I study like till 7, and then I go to work.
To work
It's not something that's sustainable. Like, I can't do it like for weeks.
forever.
But when I have a work that needs to be done for my doctorate, like I do like 3 times a week, I wake up, and then after work I come home, and I just like nap, and then stay a bit with my family and sleep. I try to do my DBA work in the morning, because when I wake up, like I have a fresh mind, I can do the writing, like the creative writing. I'm disconnected. I don't have the stress of the entire day of work, you know. It
Yeah.
really helps me with the flow of ideas and all of that. So
Yeah.
that one, like that's the key that helped me throughout these years with my DBA. Whenever I have a deadline, like I wake up super early, get the work done, and then start my day at work. But
That's
it's
true.
it's not sustainable. It's not something
I
that I do like every day,
No,
but
thank you.
it's
You're
very
always
helpful.
humble. You're always humble.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's exciting. That's a lot of lessons to be learned from me. And talking of disconnecting, because before meeting you or talking to you, I didn't know much about Algeria. I see that they have two coasts. They have the Mediterranean coast, and the Sahara, which makes it unique, right? I don't know how many countries, but I wanted to say that I hope you're taking time to enjoy, all this, visiting, taking time and going to see that. And I also saw that it's a diverse country. So hopefully you're taking advantages of all this to rejuvenate and refresh and do so many things. Yeah, thank you. Do you have anything is there anything you want to leave with our viewers today? I'm sure they want to learn more about you, but what advice can you leave with young girls, and even me, somebody like me, I'm learning from you. It's not an easy fit. What can you tell us before you go?
Thank you. So what I would say is that believe in yourself. Like as I said, if you feel that you can do it, then you can do it. Don't limit your ambitions, don't limit your dreams. Learn from everyone. Um, every experience, whether it's good or bad, it teaches you something. It's a learning lesson. So enjoy it, enjoy the process,
Yeah.
and grow with the process. It's all about your perspective and your reaction to the situation. So try to always make it positive.
Okay. Thank you very much. I've enjoyed the session. Thank you so much for giving us all these clues. Patience, hard work. Don't limit your ambitions and just do it. And I hope our girls and everywhere they're listening today and we can learn from this. Thank you, Abir. We appreciate your company. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me, Duranke. Thank you.
Enjoy the evening. Thank you.